I just spent my afternoon doing something very annoying, checking out a Facebook Marketplace listing that ended up being deceptive. Great. Now I'm mad. Anyway, in a video a couple of days ago, I said, hey, I'm doing a Q&A. Reply to the pinned comment with your question. And we got a few of you in here. The rest of you, either you already know everything that you've ever wanted to know about me, or you haven't been watching my videos lately. Now, I probably should have made like a community tab post or whatever. Instead, I made a community tab post today about how it's Animal Crossing New Horizons' 3rd birthday. And I got that playlist up on the channel. That's over 50 hours of my playthrough of it starting from day one. People say they like to fall asleep to it or whatever. Anyway, here we go. Let's see what you all had to ask. I just figured it's been a while. We got a good chunk of new subscribers and viewers coming in as I've been picking back up the AMBERLYNN stuff. Wow. Oh, Alyssa says, if you had to be roommates with one of the characters from the Amberverse for 1 year, who would you choose? Off the top of my head, I'd probably have to say Becky, just because she seems like she'd really keep to herself, as would I. That seems like at least the most bearable experience as a roommate. Like, at least it would be no drama, you know? That's actually a great question for, like, the question of the day on the ALR Retro Reacts we're doing. Maybe tomorrow. I have the questions on the bottom of the screen, by the way, in case you're just listening. From Kay's Cooking to King Cobra to Amber and Big Lee, which would you hire for catering an event? Probably seems like a pretty crazy answer. I would probably say AMBERLYNN, just because, as ridiculous and hypocritical as she is at times, she's the only person on the list that I trust to actually understand what vegan food is. At this point anyway, maybe not like during like the Destiny era, because that would obviously be important for my event. Great question. Saturn. John Gilmore says, would you ever give Cobra a bath? No, I don't think so, unless there was like a lot of money involved, like a pretty significant amount of money. In that case, maybe we could tolerate it somehow. We'd also have to work out transportation and such, you know? Great question. Nikki Chuckle says, my question is, how you doing, WiLLo? I'm really mad about the Facebook Marketplace listing. The place is like half an hour away. Do you want to hear about it? I met someone there who has a pickup truck. I was looking for a treadmill. It was a fancy Nordic track one that they had listed for a good price. I know the thing doesn't fit through doorways. I looked it up. I'm very prepared. I watched a video on how I can disassemble the top from the bottom so that I can get it into my house when we get there. We get to this place, it's in their basement through like 4 doorways, and they're like, yeah, can you get it out? No, it's not. It's not my job to bring it up your basement stairs through a bunch of doorways. Wasted so much time getting ready for it, getting cash out, wasting someone else's time who was meeting me there. And then when I get home and they changed the price of it. They like sent me a message like, hey, the price changed. It wasn't right before. I sent them an offer, and they agreed to meet with me. Anyway, I'm hanging in there. Thanks for asking. Living the dream. Mutt Moo says, if you had to interview one of the subjects, who would it be? AMBERLYNN, Kay, Lee, Cobra? Oh, AMBERLYNN, Kay, and Lee, Cobra. An interview? What I would most want to interview would probably be Cobra. The most lucrative for me would probably be AMBERLYNN, but that would really just be hell. That would be something else. I think if I interviewed Cobra, that would actually be interesting. I actually did do a little kind of like chat podcast thing with bite-sized Cobra vids. If you haven't seen that yet, that's a month or two ago on the channel. It actually came out very good. I recommend it. Good listen. Nikki says, as a proud vegan himbo, what's a food you wish a vegan version was easily / commercially available, or if it already exists, what is it? That's a great question. For a while when I went vegan, it's been like 8 years now. No, it's been over 7. For a while, it was probably sausage, and then a couple years in, they came out with Beyond Sausage, and honestly, it does the job well enough. There's a couple other things, there's like Gardein sliced sausage and whatever. There's all different brands coming out now. It does all different kinds. It used to be like 1 or 2 for each thing. I wish it was a little easier to get vegan donuts. There's like a couple places I know I can get them from time to time when they decide to make them or get a shipment in or whatever. But what I'm gonna say as my answer for this one, like creme fraiche, like just like random like staple ingredients for like certain foods. Like there's some stuff where there's not that great of an alternative all the time. That's such a stupid answer. I could probably like make it out of like some, I don't know. Okay, now main things, I'd probably like donuts to be a little more available in a wide variety. Same thing with like variety of vegan cheese. Like there's, most stores have like a couple. They got the Daya and whatever. I want like some Munster, some Limburger. And other than that, I'd just like to see some of the vegan options at like the commercial chains like McDonald's or whatever. I'd like to see those options in the US. Sometimes I feel like that stuff's slower to get over here because of how bought and sold like the FDA is and whatnot. But anyway, that's not what you asked. Skooma Cumberdale says, who would win in a fight, Cobra, K, ALR, or Steven, as in Steven Asante? I'm going to say Cobra if he's not too drunk, which I know is a stretch. Just because he's like able-bodied at least. That's something. That's a question. Brenda Chapman says, any chance of retro reacts to Steven Asante? Scenes from Mike's 600-pound life, maybe. That's a great idea. TLC really super duper strict about copyright stuff. If you've tuned into any of Zachary Michael's coverage of like TLC shows, you'd know like you really can't show clips that much. But I do love the whole Asante saga. There's so many classic quotes and whatnot. Honeydew L says, are your parents vegan as well? If not, when and why did you choose to go vegan, and what does your family think of it? My parents aren't. My mom apparently was for a bit before I was born. I think especially like while she was pregnant. Apparently. I was inspired to go vegan a couple months after I started dating Jaimie. She was already vegan at the time that I met her. My entire family has never given me any trouble about it or anyone any trouble about it. My mom already likes plant-based food anyway and likes to cook, so it's no big deal for her. She makes some cool stuff. I have some green curry chickpea thing that she made when I was over there last night. I got leftovers. I had some of that before. Probably have some for dinner. Great stuff. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Honeydew Else. Jackie Attacky says, why didn't you name your cats Eric and Rickie? Because that would be so weird. I mean, they are a bonded pair of boys, but Dustin actually already had the name beforehand, or whatever, that's what they called him, the rescue. And Tucker was Tiger. And so we just nudged Tiger over to Tucker, kept Dustin because it was a silly name for a really, really ridiculous cat. That is a funny name for a pair of pets, though. You're right. By me, they mostly get called Dustachino and Tucker Teeny these days. Or Dustachini Meanie, Tucker Tony, Tuckington, Tucker D. Gray, and Dustabi Dot. Nicole says, really? Yeah. Hilomona says, my question, what are your worst habit and your best habit? And also, if you had to live in another country, which one would it be? Also, do you speak another language? My worst habit is probably just like consistent laziness. I have this like aversion to being inconvenienced. That's probably very detrimental. Best habit, it's going to sound like a brag no matter where you go with it. I'll say consistent morals maybe. Like people tend to know the way I feel about things and topics, and I try to be consistent about them. You won't see me change my opinions much on things like that. I do not speak another language. I took like 2 years of Latin in high school. Didn't like help me like learn any languages. It is kind of like I do find it kind of helps like identify like kind of like random like prefixes and stuff in Latin derived languages, if I like see it written out, I'm like, oh, that word probably means, whatever. Other than that, I took a little French in middle school, didn't retain any of it. Hilamona also asks, do you watch The Mandalorian? And if so, do you like it? And also, do you think it's always Pedro Pascal in there, or do they stick some random dude sometimes, especially since he doesn't take his helmet off anymore? Sorry, spoiler. Okay. No, I don't watch it. No, I haven't watched any of it. I really don't watch anything at all, to be honest with you. Last things I actually went out of my way to watch were Cyberpunk Edgerunners, the anime based off of the Cyberpunk game, and the first season of Halo, the Halo series based off of the game Halo. That was horrible. Cyberpunk Edgerunners was incredible. The Halo show, absolutely horrible. Watched the entire first season just because I love Halo so much. They're making another season. I'll watch that too and hate every moment of it, I'm sure. The only way to get me to watch something apparently is if it's from a game that I've played. I actually have to check out Sonic Prime. That was on Netflix, right? Gotta check that out. And before anyone asks, I have not seen The Last of Us because I have not played The Last of Us. I have it set up to play it. I don't have a PS3, but I got it on my computer. It runs horribly. But I hope to play it before I watch the show. I don't even know if I want to watch the show, but to answer your thing, I bet there's another guy in there sometime, or special effects where it's not even, no one's even there. Right? Come on. Marissa Arb says, do you and Jamie want kids someday? I don't, so no judgment here. Haha, just curious. I don't know. Not sure. I mean, I probably have to get a little more financially stable before we even think about such a thing anyway. Marissa also asks, what made you want to go vegan first, health or animals? That's a great question. I started by just trying it out for a little bit because everyone always says hey, cut out dairy, and all of a sudden I felt a lot better and a bunch of things improved for me. So I was like, okay, I'll give that a try because I really didn't eat that much meat anyway, or at least it wasn't a huge fan of it ever at any point. Usually wouldn't cook it for myself or whatever. So I was like, okay, I'll try cutting everything out, no cheese and milk. And yeah, I felt a lot better in those couple of days. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going back to that anymore. And then a while into that, we went and visited Woodstock Farm Animal Sanctuary, and got to meet some cows and see some very comfy pigs and whatnot. And I was like, there's no going back. This is it for me. So it's a nice combo to boast of just I feel better. I'm respecting life. I'm doing good stuff for the environment or whatever, Allison Deckert says, what's your favorite metal band? Great question. It's always been Judas Priest. Favorite band. Favorite artist. The first album I really picked out for myself was Screaming for Vengeance by Judas Priest. Got the CD. I think my dad might have bought it for me. I've actually got it on vinyl now too. And it has in it the little insert for where you would order the shirts and wristbands and whatnot back in the day. You would mail it in. You check off what you want, include money, and send it to them. Kind of cool. I mean, I'm sure there's a million of them out there, but it was cool. And of the more modern era, it's probably Motionless in White. They're probably best defined as this goth metalcore. Nikki B says, how long have you been singing and playing music? You have a great voice. Thanks so much. I think in 6th grade, really, we got some friends together and tried out for the school talent show or whatever. So probably around 5th grade or whatever, playing bass anyway, and then singing maybe 6th or 7th grade. Tried chorus for a little bit, didn't like it. I was actually in the band around then too, played bassoon. Tater Tot Freak says, can you address the fact that Cobra looks kind of baby girl in his latest shoutouts thumbnail? That was 3 days ago. Okay, here's shoutouts 4 days ago. Okay, I don't know exactly know what baby girl means, but I think I see what you're getting at. Okay, so I'm acknowledging it. I see what you're getting at. Yeah. Melissa M says, you turn left, I'll turn right, we'll meet in the middle, but I ended up falling. Yes, from the little song I made out of Amberlynn telling the story of how she fell, which is up on YouTube, by the way. I think it's I ended up falling, it's called. I don't know. It's a silly, goofy thing. kidding. No, but seriously, been a fan since 2019, and I've loved all the songs you make. Which was your favorite to write? Thanks so much. You know, the random music stuff I make really doesn't get much traction. Well, of course, I like Animal Crossing Christmas, which is available to listen to here on YouTube or YouTube Music, Spotify, Apple Music, whatever you got. I'm sure it's there. I think, anyway. But I really liked making Imposter, the song, which is also available all those places to listen to. I think I've kind of done like a new mix of it. I've been working on with some, more experience I've gathered over time with mixing and whatnot. I gotta figure out a way to get that out sometime soon. But it's one of the coolest things to make, honestly. Years ago when I was in the band with all my friends and we made an EP in a recording studio. It was a very cool experience. The band's the Clocktown Giants. You can look them up if you want, listen to it. Oh, you know what? I've gotten, weirdly enough, multiple messages about this, but there was a cover of Crazy by Gnarls Barkley up on my channel from years ago, and a couple months ago, I just unlisted it or whatever, because I didn't really like it. I listened back to it, I was like, it didn't, to me it sounded more like an impression or like an impersonation or whatever attempt rather than just a full cover. I didn't like it, so I unlisted it, and I've gotten at least 2 separate messages from people saying, hey, did you take that video down? Because I like to go back and listen to it from time to time. I don't even think they're people that regularly follow my channel or anything. I'm not sure, but maybe I'll put it back. I think if I put it back up, it might send out a notification and everything, so I don't know. Maybe I'll try anyway. I didn't really like it, but if people have been going back and enjoying it, maybe I can put it back up. And we got Mickey B. Hope I'm not too late to the party. What do your IRL family and friends think about your ALR reacting career? Do you tell most people IRL? How do you respond how do they respond? How do people respond? Gosh, I think this is the last one. When you tell them the details of what you do. That's a great question. So my experience, and I feel like if you ask Zachary Michael, he'd probably agree. It's funny how few people in real life actually give a shit that you're an online content creator. You'd think people might be like, ooh, that's so cool, wow, can I watch or what? But no, it's just oh, huh, all right, okay. I don't think you intended for ALR reacting career to be as much of a burden as it is, unless, I don't know. But I have been going pretty strong on just that for the past month or so now, so can't complain. But I do enjoy making some variety content. I do have another channel, willodavis Games, that I enjoy uploading from time to time. I like going live on Twitch, playing some video games. I like doing the little cooking videos or the rare vlog. But no, I don't think you meant it like that. No, it is a very glaring feature of my catalog, of course. It's actually pretty easy to explain away to people in real life. The AmberLynn stuff, it's how come you're always making videos about her? I make videos about a bunch of stuff, and that's just the one that sticks, so I kept doing it. Everyone else is the ones watching. I don't know why they're watching it. And then they're like, yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. Well, thanks so much for the questions, everybody. That was fun, I dare say. I'm sure as I upload this, a bunch of people are gonna say, I didn't see it, and I got so many good questions. Or maybe not. Maybe you all already know me. Maybe I'm just not that interesting. Well, hopefully you know a little bit more about me than you did before. Thanks so much to the recent subscribers, as well as the people that have been hanging around for years, of course. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one, all right? willodavis out.